What's up, Internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video? Hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Today is Monday, September 5th, day 62 inside the Big Brother house. And before we get into what happened yesterday on the live feeds, let's just kind of talk a little bit about last night's episode. We saw the HOH comp, we saw the Zingbot Zings, and then we also saw the nominations. We did actually do a watch along with this over on my Twitch channel, which if you need links for all that in the description and a pinned comment down below, you can follow me over on Twitch for streams right over there. It was a lot of fun. We were kind of hanging out watching it, but man, those Zings were terrible, like absolutely awful. I don't think one of them was good. The best one was the Alyssa winter coat in the desert one, where she was dead weight and useless. Other than that, like, they were bad. They were mainly just like insults. They weren't even like funny insults. Like, it was like so generic. Michael's was about that he was ugly, so he should wear a mask even if he doesn't have to with the COVID restrictions. Like, these were just so bad. And especially when you compare them to my interview that I had with Zingbot yesterday. If you guys didn't see that, make sure you check out yesterday's update where I had an exclusive interview with Zingbot. And we got to hear some zings from the previously evicted house guests, which were much funnier. Much funnier than what we saw in the episode last night. But other than that, the HOH comp, Michael just completely dominated. He had almost his whole thing built before anybody else had like 3 pieces built. And it was just shocking to me. I see a lot of people talking about how like, oh, well, maybe this cast is just like really bad at comps, right? And that's why he's doing so well. And I don't think that's the case. I honestly think he's just that much better. I think he's just a ridiculously good competition competitor, and like he just crushes it. And it's everybody else is fairly even, right? So it's not even like, oh, they're just like all equally terrible. Like I just don't see that with Turner, who's shown like, yeah, Turner actually is fairly decent at competitions. It's just that when he has to go up against Michael, like nobody can compete with Michael. It's just, you can't do it. So yeah, it was not a great episode. It was what it was. But let's move into what happened on the live feed yesterday. And to really give you a good picture and a good idea of like how we got from point A to point B, we need to start with Sunday morning, like early Sunday morning, late Sunday night. It was, or Saturday night, I should say. There was a conversation with Turner and Brittany in the bathroom where they just were kind of running over scenarios, kind of pitching like a final 2 with each other, because Brittany's like, I don't see myself winning against anybody else. My game is so tied to like another person in particular. And they both were kind of talking about how no one would be able to beat Michael, like not one person, like he wins. Turner did point out that other than Michael, Taylor probably is the most likely to win. So Turner is hit that like right on the head. He's got it pretty much dead on what the scenario is right now. Michael is the winner. Taylor's the second winner. Other than that, it's kind of up for grabs for whoever wants to be able to take them 2 out. But they were kind of running scenarios where, you know, talking about like, yeah, go final 5 with the leftovers, you know, reheat those leftovers, you know, warm them up, throw them in the microwave, get them nice and toasty, get to the final 5 with that and go from there, and then take Michael out, do a final 4 of Monte and Taylor. But nothing was really solidified, but the talks were there. She did eventually tell Michael all of this info, except for a few details, right? Like, she didn't go into the final 2 thing. She didn't really go into the idea of going with a final 4 of Monte and Taylor. So, will that come back to bite her? Maybe. Maybe it does. Other than that, though, during the morning and afternoon, it was dead on the feeds. The only real bright spot was when Taylor and Terrance were having a conversation in the backyard, kind of talking about Brittany's comic book and how it was Brit Flea, head itch in charge. And Taylor was like, yeah, like, I don't know, like, what do you think that means? And Terrance was doing his typical Terrance thing where he's like, well, so what do fleas do? And Taylor's like, well, they itch. Yeah, but I don't know why he has to, like, he can't just say a thing outright. He needs to, like, walk you down the path until you understand what he's trying to say. Like, it's like playing 20 questions with him every time you're having a conversation. So he eventually got to his point where fleas are carried on your back. And Taylor's like, which eventually Big Brother over the announce speaker goes, zing. That was better than any of the zings we got last night. That was better than anything so far. Production was really on point with that one. They had another really good joke later in the night too, when Alyssa was kind of talking about not wanting to watch the season right away. And while she was talking about that, they just slowly zoomed in on the pool floaty, which they were down in the kitchen. They weren't even up in the have-not room. So that was pretty funny as well. Otherwise, they were so boring that they got more booze. I can't remember the last time a cast has gotten this much alcohol on a season. They really are trying to get them to liven up on the feeds, which they did eventually have some drinks where they just kind of chatted about the Zings and what they thought of them, their comic books, just different stuff like that, but nothing really major. We did get a long convo in the HOH room with Alyssa, Brittany, and Taylor. And they didn't really solidify it, but they were very much talking about, like, hey, the three of us could be final three. We could do this. We can, take out the boys, and then it'll be us in the final three. I think we all have, a lot better shot at winning if it's the three of us. And how cool would that be with three women in the finals? I don't see a path for them to even accomplish that, because the first thing you have to do is take out Michael. If you don't take out Michael, none of this is happening. Michael's steamrolling to the end. The second part is who in that is going to win those competitions. Taylor? Well, she can't win everything, especially if Michael's there. Alyssa hasn't won anything, and Brittany's only won one thing. So I don't know. It's a nice idea, but I just don't see it having any legs to kind of move forward unless some kind of miracle happens. But that's one final three scenario that was thrown out there. We did have another final three that comes up later. So after the drinkings and the chats and kind of the little party they had, Michael eventually decided to do one-on-ones because the veto ceremony is today. So he has to make his decision on whether or not he's going to use the veto and make a replacement nom. Spoiler alert, I don't think he's going to do it, though people have tried. People are definitely trying. So he had one with Alyssa and Terrance where he told them he's probably not going to use it. And Alyssa was like, okay, I understand. I just hope that, I can kind of stick around and everything will be okay. Terrance, meanwhile, was just trying to throw Turner under the bus, like hardcore. And it was really kind of funny to watch that. Nothing really of note from Monte and Taylor's one-on-one. Turner, though, had his one-on-one where he then filled in Michael on his conversation with Brittany from technically last night, but the morning prior, right? So he was filling him in on everything with that, and how Brittany was trying to make a final two. She was saying, like, we could do final four with Monte and Taylor. He was talking about how there's definitely a thing going on with the girls, and they're all kind of forming up together. So Brittany, Alyssa, and Taylor, which, again, nailing it. Turner has pretty much nailed how this game is going so far. And he kind of pitches to him. He's like, listen, it's a crazy idea. Still need to talk to Monte about it, but what if me, you, and Monte did a final three? So it would be Michael, Monte, and Turner. And with the idea just being they can trade off on HOHs, right? Because who's most likely to win the competitions if Michael can't? Monte and Turner, more than likely. So the idea would be they would kind of keep each other safe. while this was happening, I wasn't 100% sure if this was just fake to try and keep himself off the nomination block for tomorrow. But after he ended up having a conversation with Monte, I really started to feel like, hey, this might actually be a legitimate thing. And it also does make sense for Michael, right? Because let's say he does take a shot at Turner. Okay, well, that's one less person that if he can't have him on his side, well, that's also one less person for there to be a target, and then he's still that target. And if he does the same thing with Monte, that's also going to kind of piss Taylor off, and then he still has Terrance in the house. There's just a lot to it where his best move right now is to not use it. As weird as that sounds, as much as Turner and Monte were his biggest threats just yesterday, then on the feeds, well, yesterday's update, on the feeds yesterday, it really kind of made it clear that, yeah, if he takes these shots, especially now with Monte and Turner possibly wanting to do a final three with him, his best move is to just keep things the same. Now, as that developed, the next person, the final person he had a one-on-one with, was Brittany, who Brittany does talk about how the girls are joining up, which confirms what Turner was just telling Michael. And she throws Monte and Turner under the bus hard. She's like, these are the two biggest threats to you in the game, which is interesting because I'm not 100% sure how Michael is taking this, because it could be maybe making him a little bit suspicious that she wants to push for Monte and Turner right now when he's made a deal with Turner, and that's just going to hurt his game. And if he puts Monte up, it makes Taylor mad with the whole scenario that they have going on. So it just doesn't make any sense for him to actually do this. But Brittany's pushing for it hard and to keep the girls safe. And then that would also keep Terrance in the game. It's really weird how she's pushing for this. And it's kind of been one of Brittany's biggest flaws all the way since week one, is she doesn't know when to stop talking about game. Like, she just will talk and talk and talk and talk about it, and sometimes it just is super detrimental to her game, where she spills way too much and more than she should. And Turner has already started kind of using it against her. And then now this is kind of showing Michael as well, like, hey, maybe you can't trust her as much as you thought you could. Then something really kind of made Michael upset. He didn't, really voice it to her, but Taylor came in while they were having their conversation, and she's like, hey, guys, and she's like, what are you up to? And they were like, oh, we were just kind of chatting about, the Veto stuff. She's like, oh, do you guys want me to give you, like, some time? I can back out. And Michael didn't say anything, but Brittany was like, yeah, could you give us, like, 5 minutes? And then she's like, yeah, sure. So she leaves. They continue talking for a little bit, and then as soon as Brittany's like, do you want me to go get her? Yeah. Soon as she leaves and the door closes, he goes, why would you do that? That was so stupid. Like, he's not saying this to her. He's just talking out loud to the cams about it. He's like, why would you tell her to leave? That makes it so suspicious that we're in here. Like, if we were, like, planning something or we were going to do something. And it makes them look really bad. So, Brittany, and listen, Michael and Brittany are like this still. Like, they're very tight. But this could be driving a wedge in between them to the point where Michael is perfectly fine now, not doing anything with the veto, going along with the Monte and the Turner stuff, because then that way it kind of saves him that maybe he doesn't have to win the veto during the double to stay. And then he can kind of pit the girls versus them against each other while they're kind of focusing on that. He can win when he has to, right? He doesn't have to win everything if he's got Monte and Turner on his side as well. I don't know. This is interesting. The one thing, though, with Monte and Turner is eventually they got to beat Michael too, right? Like, that's part of it as well, is someone's got to beat him. And Turner made the argument. He's like, listen, if you can't beat him, join him, right? And he's got a point, right? If you can't beat him, what's the next best thing? Use him to then make sure you take out everybody else and just get further and hope for the best. Maybe he slips, maybe he messes up, maybe he fumbles. It's really, at this point, you're hoping that he messes up or that he doesn't win at the right time. Because the other part of it too is if they can get Michael to kind of go along with them, they're hoping that if he wins a veto and one of the girls wins HOHs, that he would then use the veto to save one of them because they're not coming after him if they can show him that loyalty. So now we were going into this double eviction thinking, well, okay, if anyone other than Brittany wins HOH, they're taking a shot at Michael. To now, maybe not. Maybe not. I still think it's too juicy. It's too juicy. If Michael doesn't win that veto and they have a chance to send him out, I feel like you have to take that shot. You have to. But maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. And at the very least, what they're trying to do here is set themselves up for, okay, listen, he's going to win veto. So let's at least make sure that he's on our side and knows that everybody else is coming after him. And that if he sides with us, we're also strong competitors that maybe can win something for him so he doesn't feel like he has to. And that's what Michael's been saying to Brittany this whole time is if he gets to have a position where he doesn't have to win a competition to stay, he would much rather that. And this might be that opening that he needs. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out during the double. Who wins the HOH and how does it affect people's decisions? And then it really all comes down to that veto. Does Michael win that veto? If he does he side with Taylor and Brittany and just go along with them? Or does he end up going with Michael and Turner? Or does he just try and get Alyssa out? I don't know. I don't know how this is all going to play out, and I'm fascinated to see how it goes. If I had to say right now what's happening with the veto today, it's not going to be used. It's going to stay the same. Terrance is going to go in the first eviction, but that second eviction is going to be pretty entertaining. I could say that. Other than that, though, that's pretty much all I got for you. Not a lot really happened. There were some little discussions throughout the night. But other than that, it was pretty much what covers it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for everybody who's been supporting here on the channel, over on Twitch. It's just been amazing how much support I've gotten. If you have not seen my interview with Zingbot, really go check that out. That was kind of one of the most fun things that I feel like I've done here on the channel. I think if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. It was really cool. I think you'll enjoy the Zings from the previous house guests. Also, all the links to my socials are down below. You can find my Twitch, which I plan on going live tonight as well. Maybe we'll just do more like video game kind of stuff. So you're into that kind of thing? Come on, hang out. We'll be chatting. And if you have Big Brother questions too as well, fill those up in chat. But yeah, I think we might just hang out, chill, do some different stuff, have some fun. I have something that I want to do that I think would cause some good laughs, especially for a few certain people who are aware of these certain characters. I think it might be kind of fun to do something kind of different tonight. So if you want to hang out for that, come on out. Other than that, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you made it all the way to this end of the let me just back that up and reverse it. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, smash that like button, especially because I can't speak properly. And also hit that notification bell so you never miss a video, you never miss a stream. Check out all the links for my Twitter, my Twitch, our Discord. You can join the conversation over there as well. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.